Hi YouTube, this is JTrain997 with my Marvel Legends Ghost Rider Phasing Variant Review. This is from Series 7, as you can tell. The the variation here is that Johnny is in a blue suit instead of the black one, and his motorcycle is also red instead of black, which is more accurate to the early series. Okay, back of the box. His stats, his intelligence, he got a 2, which I'd agree with. Strength of 4, scale only goes to 7, so I'd say that's pretty good. Speed of 4, if that's without the bike, then I'll agree with it. If it's counting with the bike, then I'd say that's kind of messed up. Durability of 5, good. Energy projection, only a 3. I'd say Ghost Rider easily has a 6. And fighting skills a 2, which I'll agree with, because Ghost Rider's more the throw him through a wall type of guy. Not much for finesse. I'll show more when I get it out of the box, but the head sculpt is very nice. It's like they did half a Johnny, half a Ghost Rider, and melded them together. But let's get this bad boy out of the box. Okay, as you can see, obviously, I don't have the quote-unquote shield attached, because I'll get to that. But immediately, he is sitting very well on the motorcycle. There's a little kickstand accessory, but if you take that up, the motorcycle does roll very easily. One thing I was disappointed in was I couldn't really tell. There's no pitchfork on the back of his seat, like in the later series, because Johnny went from riding a regular motorcycle to realizing he could make a motorcycle out of Hellfire until it became pure Hellfire, which is when it turned red. This is supposed to be, it says it's a shield. There was a little instruction pamphlet. Clip the shield onto the front of the bike, put the shield on Ghost Rider's arm, and then just telling about the kickstand and the foot pegs. Like I said, there was an attachment on the bike that looked like this for a while, but Ghost Rider never had a shield. It wasn't something he pulled off the bike and used at regular intervals. Now, the Danny Ketch figure from an earlier Marvel Legends line, it doesn't on the figure, but this part on his bike in the comics would come down over, and they called it a shield. It acted more like a battering ram, though. But anyways, the figure was a very, I don't know, it was pretty old when I got it, but the joints are very stiff. It took me a little while to get him into the seat like I wanted him. But once I did, like I already said, he fits very nicely in the seat, I think, for a Ghost Rider figure. I'll show you what this quote-unquote shield looks like clipped on. Get a lever to go. There we go. There. It takes away from what I think is a lot of the look of the bike. You really don't see Ghost Rider that much anymore. And I'm definitely not going to pose him with it on his arm, because that's ridiculous. The head sculpt is probably the nicest thing about this figure. Get some light in there. Camera's still not going to pick it up great, but you can definitely tell a little bit there. On the right hand side of the camera, there's the skull bit poking through, and there's more flesh over on the other side. And that was how the original story went, was he didn't just change every night, his face melted off. One other problem I have with this figure, his hands don't stay attached to the handlebars well. Like this one has. The other one, since the beginning of this review, has popped off. But what are you going to do? He also came with, Marvel Legends figures usually come with a comic. This came with a poster book, just various little pictures from Ghost Rider's comic book series. all different Ghost Riders. Let's see, do a little comparison here. This is the Danny figure, which came from a later line in Marvel Legends. Danny was the second Ghost Rider. And as you can tell, as far as size, Danny is obviously much bigger than Johnny, which was not the case. And I don't know why they would do that. They did improve on the wheels, however, as you can see on the Danny figure, the wheels are solid to the ground. There's tiny wheels in it that let it roll slightly. And even with the Vengeance figure, still much bigger than Johnny, as you can see in the middle there. So this is probably the most accurate representation of the original Ghost Rider, with the exception of the Marvel Select figure, which I have but will not be doing a review on because it came without a motorcycle, which is as stupid as putting the Silver Surfer without his board. But at the same time, I don't know why Marvel Legends got to this line and then suddenly was like, hey, let's just make the figure smaller. Because the Ghost Riders usually had an average build, all fairly alike. I'm going to pose him without the shield on personally, because I think it's ridiculous and I don't think the motorcycle looks that bad without it. Just a personal choice. Now I think it's cool that I have all three Spirits of Vengeance: Michael, Johnny, and Danny. But other than that, it's a good figure. The thing is, it's kind of pricey. This one cost me about $40 on eBay, $50 with shipping. Because he is the variant, and the black one isn't even that cheap anymore. He runs about $30. But if you're a Ghost Rider fan, like I said, this is a good figure to have. But they didn't really stay accurate to the Marvel Legends line. They kind of went nuts on this one. Still a great figure. I'm gonna say, I'm debating between a 6.5 and a 7, because like I said, the shield, kind of ridiculous. The overall motorcycle's nice. Other than that, the flame attachments and such, the head sculpt is great. The figure, very tight joints, but very hard to pose. And as I've already pointed out, the hands don't stay on the motorcycle well. But yeah, 6.5 and a 7. It's a great figure, but it has a lot of obvious flaws, and even though I am a fanboy, I can't just tune that out. So get it if you're a Ghost Rider fan. If you're not, pass it up. Go for one of these guys, preferably Danny. He's probably the best one. Vengeance doesn't really sit on his motorcycle that well either. It's like they didn't get the size of his bike right, as you can see. But still, Ghost Rider's a great character, very faithful figure. I'll go with a 7. Well, this is JTrain997 signing off again. Hope to see you soon, YouTube.